So today, the topic I'm going to talk about is freedom to speak. Do you ever mention the policy of free speech in your country? As a student studying in the US, do you ever know about the First Amendment, which contribute the rules of speaking? Also, do you ever think about the powers of words which can hurt the other group of people? It is hard to measure the power of language. Sometimes few words or language can even change a world. The freedom to speak is not totally free for every word, and because the words may offend others and hurting their feelings, and even will against some limitations. The freedom to speak seems like an open policy. As a matter of fact, there is still lots of limitations than people's imaginations. In every country, there are different types of policy for freedom to speech. Even they feel like a good policy giving a freedom to people. However, the policy also has a lot of limitations because the power of language. So there is a first thing I'm going to talk about is the meaning and the rules of free to speech. The, the free to speech is even it sounds like a policy to give the freedom of speaking. As a matter of fact, the First Amendment limits that the free speech actions does not include the rights such as incite actions that would harm others, make or distribute obscene materials, commercial products, etc. However, this policy protects the freedom of students to print articles in a school newspaper over the objections of the school administrations. And this is a quote from the First Amendment, which talks about the policy protects the freedom of speech. It gives the people the right and the ability to speak what they want to say. But actually, there's still some limitations we are going to talk about after. And the second one is about the political purpose. The freedom to speak is also a purpose for the political area. It gives a chance for citizens to speak out their viewpoints to the politicians. And it also can be a way for the politicians to receive some useful opinions to improve themselves on political areas, which can make them doing better to receive a better feedback from the citizens and know some of their disadvantages, and then they can improve some of their political ideas. There is a quote from the Bruce S. Thornton's Speak freely, lose free speech, and lose our political freedom too. In this part, we also talk about like already in the ancient Greek policy. There's also already been talk about the citizens have the freedom to speak out their opinions about the politicians, help them to improve some disadvantages to and also solve some problems. So one is about the problem from free speech. As we know, the racism and hate speech is kind of like a problem based on the free speech. However, the hate speech cannot be seen as against the law because they will offend the protection of free speech in First Amendment. The First Amendment have the policy to protect people's right and their ability to speak out the things they want to say. And even some people they cannot talk too much about the words that government do not want people to know. And then if they talk about that or they just speak out, they will get in trouble. And this is a quote from the David Schultz. Does free speech have limitations? In this article, there is kind of like a subtopic, right? Hate speech, and this is a part from that subtopic. It's kind of like talk about state and the federal government, they give the limitations for speech, and they just want to limit the people who know too much. They don't want them to just speak those things they want to keep as a secret. So in conclusion, all in all, the freedom of speech gives people more chance and ability to speak what they want to say, and they can share useful opinions to people who need them. However, in every country, there are some things such, such as confidential cannot be told to the public. Also, the words such as racism will hurt some groups of people. Those factors makes the freedom to speak is not so free as what it sounds like when you heard its name. It also it also has lost freedom. It also have lost freedom, but as a matter of fact, it, the other side is there's a lot of limitations of speaking of the also can call language. Like every coins have two sides. So for this part, you can see a lot of freedom on one side, but the other side there's a lot of limitations of some things cannot tell. That's all my presentation. Thank you.